Yes, grade 11s. Welcome back. What is it that we are having in front of us? So here it's question 7. This is a question on functions as well. So you can see questions on functions are a lot. 3 of them. They have a lot of marks. So now, what is it that is given to us here? So here they are giving us g of x, which is equals to 1 over 2, exponent x minus 4, right? And this is what? It so happened that it is remembering that there's an exponent there. It's an exponential graph, right? So it doesn't need much um, much what much interpretation to see that it's an exponential graph. But then what is it that is given? What is it that is required of us to do here? They are saying here on 7.1.1, write down the equation of the asymptote of g of x, right? So this one it's a straightforward question. Like functions are very, very much easy. So now let's see what is that is supposed to be done there. Now on 7.1.1, what are we saying? We are saying that okay, on g of x, which is equals to 1 over 2 exponent x, right? And then they're saying minus 4. They're saying must write the asymptote for this graph, right? The asymptote for this graph, you simply cover the exponential curve, the exponential part, right? This part. If you cover this part here, remember this thing here is the same as y, right? If you cover this part there, what is going to be your y? Your y is going to be -4, right? And that alone is going to be your asymptote. So y is equal to -4. That is the equation of the asymptote, right? 7.1.2. In an exponential graph, there is only one asymptote, okay? Unlike the hyperbola. And an exponential graph in your level, an exponential graph and the hyperbola are the only two things that you're going to see asymptote. All right. Now they're saying write down the range of G. Remember I told you about the dominant range in the previous video to say the range is the y values, right? So the range of G, okay? How is this graph going to be, okay? So now let's determine that by substitution, okay? That is one thing that you must see because they show the graph matters here. So if I take my graph from 0, okay? If I take my graph from 0, this is my asymptote, right? My asymptote where y is 4, and then I'm now taking my graph from 0, okay? If I take it from 0, I have y as 1 there, okay? And then if I substitute 1, I'm going to have 1 over 2. 1, I have 1 over 2. I substitute 2, 0.25. I substitute 3, it's going to be 0.125. Okay, so what is it that you're seeing? The trend of the curve. Oh, yeah, -4. So the curve, you see, it's supposed to be like this. So what do you see there? The y values, right? They are existing where y is greater than -4, right? This is how the curve is. This is the curve, right? This is -4 here. So the y values anywhere above -4, you see. So it just tells you what y is any value that is greater than -4. So this is the what? This is the range of the graph. Determine the coordinate of the x and the y-intercept of G, right? What did I say? I said to you, x-intercept it doesn't matter which graph is it. It's going to be the same thing. X-intercept, you let y equal to 0. And when you let y to be equal to 0 on the g of x is equals to 1 over 2x, right? Minus 4, okay? And then I'm saying you let y equal to 0. Now g of x is the same as y, right? And this is what you're supposed to make 0. So here, we're going to put 0 is equals to 1 over 2 exponent x minus 4. And then I'm rewriting this side such that I have 1 over 2 exponent x minus 4 is equals to 0, okay? And then I'm going to have 1 over 2 exponent x is equals to 4, okay? It's exponential. I must write this in exponential form. 1 over 2 exponent x is equals to 2 exponent 2. Shift fact. That's how you do it, okay? It's done through shift and fact. So now, any number a to the exponent 0 is equals to 1, right? 2 to the exponent 0 is equals to 1, right? So I'm writing this 1 in terms of 2. I'm going to have the 2 exponent 0 over 2 exponent x is equals to 2.2. Powers of the same base, right? You take one base and separate the exponent. So this is what? 0. The exponent here is 1. And number without an exponent, its exponent is 1. And everything there is raised with exponent x. And this is equals to 2 exponent 2, right? So here, 2 exponent 0 minus 1 is a negative 1. Exponent x is equals to 2 exponent 2. And then a power is for an exponent, we take the base, multiply the exponent, negative multiplied by x, this is negative x, and this is equals to 2 exponent 2. Okay? And then powers of the same base equate the exponents, right? So negative x is equals to 2, and then x here is equals to negative 2. So what does that mean? It means the point here, the x-intercept point is what? It is negative 2 and 0, okay? We have negative 2 and 0 as the x-intercept point. There we go. So now, with that said, what is it that we want now? Okay, we have seen the x-intercept. Now we're left with the what? The y-intercept, right? 7.1.3, it's a continuation. So y-intercept, how do you find the y-intercept? We let x equal to 0, right? So we know that g of x is equals to 1 over 2 exponent x minus 4, right? And letting x equal to 0, what does that mean? Means that when we see x, we're going to put 0. So g of 0 is going to be equal to 1 over 2 exponent x minus 4, right? And then any number that is going 0 is 1 minus 4, that's going to be negative 3, okay? So therefore, the point here is going to be 0 and negative 3. There you go. Right. So we now have y-intercept and x-intercept. The procedure of finding the two is the same regardless of which graph are you working with. 7.1.4. Hence, write down the value of x for which g of x is less than 0. Okay, so g of x less than 0, right? Where do we have g of x being less than 0? So if you look at the way the graph was when I was trying to put it there, so open that it's like this, right? And then we see that this is negative 4. That's in total, right? X-intercept, what's the x-intercept there? Let's see, negative 2. X equal to negative 2, right? So this is the x-intercept. That's the point there. We actually interpretation of graph, you have to have the graph with you, okay? So they are saying we need the where the graph is, it's negative. You see here, the graph is negative, right? The graph there, it is negative. So where is the graph negative? It's where, you see this side, it is positive. So where the graph is negative, it's going this way, okay? So what does that mean? X is greater than negative 2. So where x is greater than -2, that is where the graph is negative. Above that, the graph is positive. So yeah, that is it with the 7.1.4. Then we get 7.2. Then what are these in 7.2? They are now saying to us, draw a neat sketch. Draw a neat sketch of the graph of h of x, which is equals to a multiplied by b exponent x plus q, where a is negative, right? A is negative, okay? So this is what they're talking about. They're saying a is negative, and b lies between 0 and b lies between 0 and 1. So a is negative. So if you don't want to be confused by this, we pass not because we know, but let's just put values that are going to make us. We're just going to put any graph. You see, a is -1, so this is -1, right? B is between 0 and so I'm going to put 1/2 there. Okay, this is what they're giving us, exponent x, and then they're saying q is greater than 1, right? So you see, I'm going to put +4 here. You see, I'm going to put +4. Now let's see how is the graph going to be. You're just putting those values that it will help you to plot the graph. Okay, we're just sketching a graph there. So let's see how is the graph going to be. If I plot this graph, if I substitute, I am using a substitution, right? -1/2 exponent 0, right? Plus 4. Plus 4. So I'm going to put my x-axis here. So this one is what? This is 4, right? This is the asymptote, okay? And then with it being asymptote, at 0. Okay, this is at 0, right? So at 0, so I append that y is 3 there. And then if I put 1, 7/2, and what is 7/2? That is 3.5. So this is what? So this is 3.5. Okay? Yeah, I'm getting 3.5. So I'm getting 3.5. So you see where the graph is going. And then if I put 2 there, I'm getting 3.75. So it is approaching the asymptote. So it is going this way. So it means the curve is gonna follow this kind of trend, right? It's gonna follow that kind of a trend there. So yeah, just that it will not touch the asymptote, but it's gonna follow that kind of a trend there. So it's just a sketch. It's just a sketch. So by sketching, you just wanna have something like this, because the x-intercept is gonna be there. So we're gonna have something like this. So this is just a sketch. So yeah, that is something. It's gonna be something of that nature. So yeah, that's where question 7 ends.